Yes, good day, folks. You have the opportunity now to join me in my first broadcast. My spirit name is Aradia Chappelle, and I have been through many experiences through the years, which I would like to share, some of which to you, and some of the stuff that I have studied in the past. I was really taken with some things that I had read in the Nag Hammadi Library around about last fall. I borrowed the book from the library and I started to read, and some of the things just jogged my memories from some other things that I had written myself and some other things that I had read from other people's works. Notably the Gnostic Church, and also some works from Magdalenian, which we'll get into later in the series. So this is the first of series of broadcasts, and in order to give you all a solid foundation of understanding, and we'll make comparisons later, I feel the need to share with you the story. And the story is called The New Legend of Pistis Sophia, which came to me in a rather mystical way. One evening I sat down at the computer and I began to write. And it literally poured out of me. And then, of course, later, reading the Nag Hammadi scriptures, I found some very interesting correlations and compared notes. So this is basically what this whole series is about, giving some understanding of some Gnostic teachings and things that are now forthcoming. So here we go with the work called The New Legend of Pistis Sophia. And this was in January of 2011. Still trying to find it here. It escaped me for a second. There we are. And this says that it was channeled by me and by my Gnostic priestess name, Sophia. She came from the thought of happiness, wishing to share with others. And the thought was thought by the forefather when he gazed upon the eternities that he and his mirror image God had created, and wondered how it would be to have some other being to share this with, someone who was his equal but not of him. And since all that is a part of him, he felt a longing and a sadness, wishing to experience something that was outside his awareness. And these feelings of longing for that union came over him. And because he felt he should not feel such things, he threw the feelings away to a place where no one would find them, a place called the abyss. And in this dark place, the feelings grew and grew and became something that was not him. He went on for many millennia doing as gods do, creating life here, destroying it there, adding a little sunlight to this planet and the like. But there came a time when he felt a stir that had not come from him, a soft, soothing wave coming from the darkest place where no one stays. The feelings he had thrown away had grown into something so incredibly shining, as though 1,000 constellations had gathered in one place and reflected in 10 directions from a dark sphere. And so he spoke into the feelings which he had discarded so. "Who are you? And how did you come to be, since I have only thrown my feelings of longing into this abyss wherein all must pass, but no one stays save you?" And a voice that sang as a chorus of angels came from the darkness as she stepped out into his light. "I am she who watches, and she who reflects, and she who knows the waves are continual and equal, as I have manifested as your reflection, to complement and advise you with my great understanding, as it is the great mother of all who took great pity upon your feelings and made here within this abyss a great womb, within which I have grown. And she comes to me here and teaches me many things. And I see the creations you have made and all such beauteous and creative things of the cosmos. But in that I see you do so for the great conjunctions of time to unfold for all creatures. Yet I am here for you. I will soothe you and be your solace in darkness to your radiant light, O wondrous God. And ye shall be greatly pleased. So is my love and the Mother of All's love for thee. But, she said, only if you promise to honor me and cherish my word, and love me always with your truth and utter wholeness. Then this shall be yours. And always unto her, the Mother of All, shall I sing praises, for she has taken your longing and made it into the reflection of that longing, for so great is her compassion and understanding. And he said, I am greatly honored, O Mother of All, and hereunto I shall also call you the Mother of all mercies. But what else shall I call you, O darkly luminous other? And she said, you may call me Pistis Sophia, as I am the joining of the light as in the Pistis shall reveal, and in the dark as the Sophia which the wise know as the Holy Lady. And he gazed again upon the Pistis Sophia, and the she was so very beautiful, as in the beginning of time, wherein all lights converge, and spark-breathing stars and life force, that there was such a wave that surged through the heavens, and angels and dominations and principles of the firmament and under the firmament gathered to witness her birthing among them. And God was pleased, and the Mother of All was also pleased. And so they unified and sang waves of divinity across the universes and abysses. And they made divine love, creating first from that love the star of the Pleroma, who was called Sophia, and the son of the sun, who was called Solus, which are like unto twins, the same yet different, one like her and one like him. For he is ever a sun, and she a moon. And so they glorified and hymned together with the living God of gods, and the Mother of All, and all the angels and dominations and principalities of all the rulers beneath the 13th aeon. And unto the son of the sun an aeon was made, and given unto him in the name Ogdad. And so this went on for many, many millennium. And they looked about the planets and creatures on them and saw that many of them needed help. So many of them needed wisdom and understanding and knowledge to attain to their full potential. And it was in such a way that in looking down upon the earth, that God and Goddess saw that the people of the earth needed guidance, a way for them to release the stains of their sins upon their auras, in order to attain to higher functions. For it was such that the sins that stain the aura cannot be removed, except by the forgiveness of God, or by the person you have sinned against. An eye for an eye, except for when the sincere make repentance. And in their folly, mankind was beginning to forget this. So God sent his only son, and the goddess sent her only daughter to the earth together, but separate, to edify and impart the ways to communicate the holies and bring salvation to the souls, to their souls of the damned or lost. But this is only one of the true stories that fall upon the face of the book of the truth, of wherein they traveled across galactic space-time frames and created spirituality and sources of light throughout the universe. And so they went, together and separate, each knowing that they would find and help each other along the way, each knowing the pact that was stamped upon their souls by the God of gods and the Lady of ladies would bring them to their goals and sacrifices that would be necessary to the attainment of the ultimate goal of humanity, the enlightenment for all. For this is the truth, that all men and women of all species are destined to attain to their own God-goddesshood, and shall remain on the path to this enlightenment until they pass the veil unto the greater heavens. So they went, casting the light of the truth and the wisdom of the way along their path everywhere they went. And the Dark Ones saw what they were doing, and saw their works being to be destroyed by it, and vowed to destroy their light. And so they set about infiltrating the family of light. For it is ever thus, that when a person of the family of light kills anyone, then that person who is killed becomes part of the family to the person who killed them, as a retribution and as a means to resolve that karma. So the dark family began to descend upon the family of light, and so it weakened and became corrupt in some places. And then Pistis Sophia, in her higher form, looked down from the 13th aeon and saw the darkness of the archons was growing, and the earth was crawling with vermin of darkness. And looking upon them below her, she saw how they had darkened the light of the beings who embodied her soul, one of whom was known as Aradia. And she went to her aid. Sophia left the protection of the 13th aeon, and she herself also became trapped by the powers of the earthly archons and the demiurgos by their workings together of deceit upon the people of the earth, and cutting off the sources of her earthly power, and was blinded by the poisons they fed her, and she was lost for many years, wandering the continents in search of anyone who could help, but most often getting trapped further and further into the darkness of the adversaries as they stole and used her power and light to control others and herself, and she was forlorn. But then, in her darkness, she felt that there must be one who would hear her if she sang her truth to the universe. And so she sang from the very core of her being the song of the ages that told her story unto the beings who have mastered time. And she saw a light, and it was the light of her brother, the one whom we call the Christ, whom was called Apollo, whom was called Ra, whom was also called Solus. But he who has many names upon the face of the earth, and he who carries the light of the heavens and of the sun and the holy light unto the souls of beings. And he heard her cries and lamentations, and came down to hear the song of Sophia, and of her confessions and pleads for forgiveness unto the sins that she had committed whilst in the midst of the archons. He heard her cries of torment, and answered unto them, and reached for her, and pulled her up away from the tree that held her in that damned place. So no longer would she have to bear the meanness and lowliness of the archons, who have not the eyes that see such loveliness of the spirit. And through her confessions of the body, mind, and soul, he took her to the gates of heaven, and bade them open the gates unto them, and allow her to return unto the fullness of heaven unto the 13th aeon. And the gates were opened at the time of the passing of the 9 hells age, and into the gates of the 9 heavens age. And so she passed back into the pleroma of her homeland, and there was great rejoicing over the heavens. All over the heavens. And she and he gave great thanks, and would retire to their realms, when the forefather and the mother of all called Sophia forth, and bade her sit by their side and converse. And she came and sat, and they spoke at length about many mystical and angelic things that she had not known of before. And the forefather showed her a host of angels that were made and consecrated unto and for her command, and told her of their names and their functions, and gave her powers and the means to instruct them. And the mother of all showed her a place like unto a galaxy that they had created, which she called the 14th Aeon. And they gave unto her the scepter of wisdom and a sphere of knowledge of that space and land and domination over that Aeon in her name of Sophia, saying unto her that the time of her rebirth was now, and it was time that she showed all that she was born to be, a goddess of the 14th Aeon. And now, after her fall, that she had come back, earning her rightful place in the heavens as the son of the sun's equal. She remembered, and she remembered his feeling from whence she had come.